18th, the Clausen family countdown to Christmas, Librarian. 6 days till Christmas. Molly and Cam were up early on the 19th morning of December. Today was story time at the library. The children gathered all of the books they had checked out from their last visit. They carried stacks of books into the kitchen where Mom was fixing breakfast. "That is a lot of books," said Mom. "I hope none of them are past due. We will be going to the library later this afternoon. You have a little time to play this morning." The children finished breakfast and their chores quickly. The afternoon trip to the library would cut the day short, so they would have to settle for a quick visit to the village this morning. Molly took the satin box from the shelf and joined Cam in the living room. Removing one of the villagers, Molly said, "This one looks like a librarian or a teacher." Cam thought she looked more like a librarian. "Put her between the school and the library and see which one she goes in," said Cam. Molly placed the villager between the school and the library as Cam suggested. Suddenly, the children were swept into a wild flurry of snow and gazump landed right into the village. They landed in a snow-covered sandbox near the school. Molly and Cam picked themselves up, brushing a mixture of snow and sand from their clothes. "She must be a teacher since we landed at the school," said Molly. "Don't think so," said Cam. "She's walking towards the library." The children followed her inside the building. "Excuse me," said Molly. "Do you work here?" "I do work here sometimes," replied the villager. "My name is Miss Leisha." The children introduced themselves. "I told you she was a librarian," said Cam. "We love story time at the library," said Molly. Miss Leisha told the children they were in luck. Story time was about to begin. Molly and Cam followed Miss Leisha into a small room where other children were waiting. Finding room on the floor, the children settled down to enjoy some stories. Miss Leisha sat in a large, comfortable chair facing the eager young audience. Molly wondered which Christmas story Miss Leisha would read. Miss Leisha started the story by saying, "Once upon a time," although she was not reading from a book. She then pointed to a young boy sitting near her. The boy added, "There was a big green frog," and Miss Leisha continued, "living in a big blue pond near the village." Miss Leisha continued the story saying, "The frog loved to splash." Then she pointed to a little girl who replied, "And hop on lily pads." Miss Leisha was creating a new story with each of the children adding to the plot. Cam thought this was great fun, but Molly wanted to hear a Christmas story. Miss Leisha continued for several minutes, choosing the audience to add twists and turns to the living story. As the plot was building, Miss Leisha said, "And in the middle of the night the frog jumped from his lily pad shouting." Then she pointed to Molly, who replied, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night." The audience burst into laughter. Until then, the story had nothing to do with Christmas. "Well, it sounds like someone is ready for a Christmas story," said Miss Leisha. The other children agreed with excitement. "Molly, would you like to pick the story?" asked Miss Leisha. Molly stepped up to the shelves near the front of the room and selected a small book. She took the book to Miss Leisha, who said, "Wonderful! Would you like to read the story to us?" Molly was quite an advanced reader, but had never read in front of so many people. With her face blushing, Molly replied, "Well, I can try if you would like." The young audience cheered Molly on, only to make her blush even more. Miss Leisha stood up to give Molly her seat. Molly climbed into the large chair, feeling very small. Her feet barely reached the end of the chair. Molly settled back and opened the book. She read the Christmas story with no pauses or mistakes. As Molly announced the end, she climbed off the chair to cheers from the listeners. "You could be a librarian when you grow up," said Cam. "Everyone loved your reading." "Maybe after I become a fighter pilot," replied Molly, smiling. Miss Leisha thanked Molly for reading the story. She welcomed the children to come back any time. As Miss Leisha started to leave the library, Molly asked, "Are you done working for the day?" "Oh, no, I'm going over to the school," replied Miss Leisha. "I volunteered to read at the library in the mornings and teach at the school in the afternoon." "I told you she was a teacher, Cam," said Molly. "She is both," said Cam. "You are right, and so am I." Molly and Cam walked with Miss Leisha to the school. "Thank you for the company, children. It was nice to meet you," said Miss Leisha. The children said goodbye to the librarian/teacher and started home. "We'd better get home quickly," said Cam. "Mom is probably waiting for us to go to the other library." Opening the front door, Molly suddenly realized that she still had the library book in her arms. "Did you find another library book to take back?" asked Mom. No, I borrowed it from a friend," said Molly. The children enjoyed visiting 2 libraries in one day. As Mom tucked them in for the night, Cam wondered if Molly would really become a fighter pilot when she grew up. Molly wondered if she really wanted to be a fighter pilot or a librarian/teacher. To be continued.